Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're going on an absolutely fascinating journey. We are going to look at the revered historical biography of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, but through a very specific lens. Our core focus today is the immense importance of practically applying the prophetic guidance. We're going to transform what a lot of people just treat as a historical biography into a highly practical, actionable daily toolkit, literally bringing history into your everyday life.
Okay, here's our roadmap for today. We'll start with number 1, the practical methodology for life, then move into 2, Quranic morals in reality, followed by 3, guidance in daily life. After that, we hit number 4, the art of dealing with others, then 5, models of practical application, and we'll wrap it all up with 6, the fruit of emulation and love.
All right, let's jump right into section 1, the practical methodology for life. Before we can really adopt these habits, we have to pin down the true purpose of studying the prophetic biography, or what's known as the Sirah.
There's a pretty stark contrast in how people approach this history. A lot of folks read the biography just for, well, historical entertainment. Scholars actually call this intellectual pleasure. You read it, you get inspired, and you put the book back on the shelf. But sources like Al-Rahiq al-Maktoum hit the nail on the head. The real power unlocks only when we use it as a behavioral and moral guide. It's not just a story, right? It's a methodology meant to completely reform how we act.
To really wrap our heads around this, we're going to ground our analysis in a massive core text, Ibn al-Qayyim's absolute masterpiece, Zad al-Ma'ad, which basically translates to Provisions for the Hereafter. This book is literally an encyclopedia. It meticulously categorizes exactly how the prophet lived every single facet of his life. We're talking about turning high-level theology into granular, everyday actions. What's genuinely mind-blowing here is the sheer comprehensiveness of this guidance. Like Ibn al-Qayyim leaves absolutely no stone unturned. Think about your personal habits, eating, sleeping, waking up, or your social dealings, how you handle debts or treat guests, even medical and healing practices like dietary moderation. The Prophet's lifestyle provides this perfectly optimized standard for, well, the whole shebang. So with that methodology in place, let's move to section 2, Quranic morals in reality, where we look at the mindset driving all these actions. We absolutely have to anchor this with a really profound statement from his wife, Aisha. When people asked her about his character, she just said his character was the Quran. I mean, what does that actually mean for us? It means the Prophet was essentially a walking, breathing application of the Quran. He wasn't just preaching abstract concepts up in the clouds. He translated divine revelation into a tangible reality that we can and should actually copy. And that brings us to section 3, guidance in daily life. We're zooming in from the big picture theory down to the highly micro-level daily habits. Okay, I want you to do a quick mental exercise. Think about your own morning routine. If it's anything like mine used to be, it's a blaring alarm, hitting snooze 3 times, and then instantly doom scrolling in the dark. Contrast that with this incredibly grounded prophetic routine. Step 1, wake to the natural sound of the rooster. Step 2, immediately center the mind by praising God. Step 3, physically clean the mouth with a sawak. And step 4, stand for prayer. Talk about a complete alignment of physical cleanliness and spiritual focus right from the very first second you open your eyes. This sense of balance extended right into his diet too. The sources point out that he didn't restrict himself to just one single type of food, because extreme rigidity actually harms the body. Instead, he ate what was customary for his people. It's a great example of social adaptability. And take drinking water. He typically drank while sitting down for better digestion and mindfulness. But he wasn't overly rigid. If he needed to, like when he was at the crowded well of Zamzam, he drank standing up. It's this perfect, practical balance of preserving physical health without making social situations awkward. Let's widen our lens a bit. In section 4, the art of dealing with others. How did these habits hold up when the pressure was on in social situations? There's this incredibly vivid micro-narrative in the sources. So the Prophet had borrowed a camel. Later on, a Bedouin creditor comes to demand repayment, and he's super aggressive about it, speaking really harshly. Naturally, the Prophet's companions grew intensely protective and honestly quite angry on his behalf. You can almost feel the tension in the air. But the Prophet immediately steps in. He stops them, completely checking any personal ego at the door, and chooses calm grace instead. He actually commanded his companions to repay the man with a camel that was even better than the original one. But here is the real kicker, his magnificent response. He tells his companions,
Let him be, for the one who has a right is entitled to speak. Just wow, that is absolute emotional control right there. Even as the supreme leader holding all the power, he validated the right of an ordinary man to demand what was rightfully his. It's basically a masterclass in profound empathy and conflict de-escalation that we can absolutely apply in our own lives today.
So, how did those closest to him witness and document all this? Let's look at some models of practical application in Section 5.
There's a really pivotal moment in the cave of Hira. When the prophet first received revelation, he came home trembling, completely terrified. His wife, Khadija, immediately comforted him. But what's so fascinating is exactly how she did it. She didn't use abstract theology, saying something like, "Oh, God wouldn't abandon you." Nope, she anchored her reassurance in his highly practical societal contributions.
She listed these phenomenal actions. She reminded him, you keep the ties of kinship, you speak the truth, you bear the burdens of others, you give to the destitute, you honor the guest, and you assist those in distress. Khadija's checklist is literally the ultimate gold standard for community service, and it proves that his moral excellence was a daily practical reality long before his public mission ever even started. We also see this practical application in the realm of healing. The prophetic guidance seamlessly merges the spiritual power of the Quran with practical health interventions. For example, the sources recount instances of using verses like Surah Al-Fatiha to heal something as intensely physical and acute as a scorpion sting. There's no disconnect here between faith and the physical body. They work entirely in tandem. All right, this brings us to our final stop, Section 6, the fruit of emulation and love. We've explored the harets and the social grace. Now, how does this all tie in to a believer's ultimate spiritual goal? As the sources note, true faith actually requires that the prophet becomes more beloved to a person than their own parents, their kids, and frankly, all of humanity combined. But here's the thing. This level of deep love isn't just some sudden emotional feeling that drops out of the sky. It's the direct, logical result of true emulation. Think about it. When you actively practice his perfectly balanced, deeply empathetic lifestyle in your own home, you can't help but cultivate a profound, genuine love for the man who modeled it for us. Which leaves us with this final, somewhat provocative thought to chew on. We read the books. We know the history. But are we actually living his reality? Remember, the Sirah isn't just a fun story for intellectual pleasure. It's a living blueprint waiting to be used. So, here's my challenge to you. Take just one small prophetic habit we talked about today. Maybe it's how you wake up, how you drink a glass of water, or how you show grace in an argument, and implement it into your life today. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. I really hope it empowers you to transform history into your daily habit.